So this next piece, people never really know what it's about, but it's also about time travel. Yeah, they always approach me afterwards and think, what was that about? I really liked it, but I don't know what you were saying. So I offer a little preface to it now. I think the ways that we talk about mental health in the West tends to be on a very sort of individual way, right? We sort of ignore the ways that systemic trauma are always affecting people. And I think, for me in particular, I have consistently felt connected to ancestors, not in a way that always feels good, often in a way that feels pretty traumatic. And I'm interested again in how narratives dealing with time travel, with disrupting our notions of space and time and linearity, are also, resisting colonialism. But yeah, this piece carries a trigger warning for suicide and death, so do what you need to do. I started thinking about killing myself when I was 5 years old. Not about killing myself as I was, cute and full of possibility, but about killing an older, taller version. One with longer hair, or none at all. I would never see myself coming. Flew outside. Police cars hovering past. They would never suspect the palm tree kid, the balloon pants, the toy pistol, and the real knife. See, 2030 will be a simpler time, where murder only happens under state surveillance, where the hemlock is grown on the White House lawn, where we have robots to do all the dirty work, where everything is that much more honest. 5-year-old me, sidelight next to the house I live in, look through the window at my lover, give myself imploring eyes like, hey, there's something I need to tell you. Tonight, I need to kill you. Tonight, I need to be a little girl who kills you. I figured this way. I would know when I would die and who would do it, that I would die at the hands of a good kid at least and live to just under 40 like any good short story. It is the perfect blend of murder and suicide, the consent written long ago. I wonder sometimes if I've done it, if time travel carries its own kind of amnesia. Is it like being blackout drunk? Is it like that? Will you tell yourself about it later like, hey, you were mad funny in the 1980s and those times we had in the Precambrian? Oh man. And if time travel is like being blackout drunk, then I probably didn't walk in a straight line. And I probably landed wrong. I have all these patchy memories of New York in the 1860s, all the bustle, and the abolitionists, and the poor dusty white kids in gray caps and the animals. New York City was a zoo back then. Pigs, dogs, monkeys, and some crossbred thing like a tuna fish with hands. If you look through old police journals, they'll say something like, hey, saw some colored women today, and a tuna fish with hands. I have also seen Gandhi reach the Great Salt Liquor Ocean, and Hildegard of Bingen invent marijuana, and the Mesopotamians invent a universe from a castrated god, and Australia invent itself from magma, and a few blinks later from prisoners and occupation, and a lot of unnamed people run in a revolution, though I'm not sure when. Before I was 5, I learned about the nature of matter. How electrons flit in and out of existence, and we do not know where they go. I was so jealous. Wouldn't it be nice to disappear without violence or trauma or reason? When you are in kindergarten and think that the universe is a conspiracy of microcuts, they tell you you are so gifted. They give you a library card and a crayon. No one can be that bitter or sad. They think without having lived for millennia first, it is easier to believe that children are born angelic and empty rather than hardened by the violence enacted against their many, many mothers. While you were kicking and screaming, there was a genocide happening a few centuries prior, maybe a famine and a war across the world. We are all here because our ancestors did things to survive, because we did things to survive, because our mother's wombs are where we first learned to be violent, because we scratched and ate them dry and red, because we swallow history whole and cannot birth it away. And maybe a little girl will kill me tomorrow.